Hello, fellow Sudokans, and welcome to Zen and the Art of the Guardian Sudoku puzzle for Thursday, the 13th of January 2022. Thursday already? Days are zipping past when you're underemployed, as I am at the moment. Okay, and it's the first of our hard level puzzles from the Guardian today. I'm not quite sure how hard it's going to be. If past experience is anything to go by, maybe not that hard, but occasionally they just slip one in there, when you just don't notice it. What's happening in the news? I saw a report that says that ill health costs, actually disparity in poorer areas costs England, I'll say England, not Britain, England, £30 billion a year because because there's so much sick leave. People are much more inclined to be sick, and on average die 10 years younger. I guess partly due to poor lifestyle choices, but maybe sometimes due to socially the environment itself. If there is more crime, etc., etc., and maybe stress and other related factors are a part of that that's not included in the report. But I was thinking that maybe this is the right approach. Clearly, corporate executives don't give a damn about poor people or social equality or anything like that, unless you can suddenly put it in terms of profit to them. Like once they hear that magic word profit, their capitalist eyes light up and they think, oh, more money for us, more money, more money. So maybe the way forward is to spell out the fact that they're losing money by keeping people in in lower income areas and depriving them of their fairer share. They could make more profit like that. Maybe that will help. What's the chances? Pretty slim, really, but I thought I'd give it a go anyway. If you're a profiteering executive out there, just think you might get more profit by not keeping such areas in dire poverty. Right, shall we get on with today's game? Have you never played Sudoku before? Okay, how do we play the game? There are squares, sometimes called cells, in rows across. There are squares, same squares, in columns down, and the same squares are fit into these blocks. And what we do is fit the numbers 1 to 9 in each row, column, and block. That's it. That's all you have to understand to be able to play Sudoku, except of course how to find the numbers. But a bit of applied logic will get you there. For example, we know that 5 can only appear in this row one time, so 5 is not available in any of these squares. We know that this 5 is in this row and 5 is not available in any of these other squares, empty squares. So what does that tell us about this particular southeast, I had to think about it there, southeastern corner of the grid? Well, it means 5 can't be in this square, this square, this square, and because of this, 5 can't be in these two squares, and there is just one empty square left. So we know that 5 must go there because it's forbidden from the other squares. Okay, now you know how to find the answer. Go ahead and do it. But I shall just plod along with my own solution as well. So 1 blocks down here and 1 blocks down here. When I say blocks, what I mean is forbids any other digit 1 in that column, and 1 blocks down here and 1 blocks across here. So 1 is in that square there. 7 blocks across this row, 7 blocks across this row, and 7 blocks down here. Blocked, blocked, blocked. Try to think of it in kind of lines, along the rows and columns. That will help you, I think. Let your eye move along the lines and the rows and columns, and that will make things easier, I find anyway. 9 blocks down this column, 9 blocks across this row, so 9 will fit into that square there. Three blocks across this row, so much as we had the 5s down here, 3 will fit there. This one blocks these two squares, or you could say 1 blocking across here and 1 blocking across here. Either way, it gets the same thing. 1 is definitely disallowed from these two squares here, or 1 is not allowed in that square because of this 1 here. So in this column there is only this square which is available to place a 1, since it's blocked from the other squares. Now this 1 blocks across this row, this 1 blocks across this row, and this 1 blocks up here, so a 1 will fit there. Seven blocks up this column, 7 blocks up this column, 7 will be in this square here. The missing numbers down here, what we need to complete this column is 8 and 9. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We don't yet have 8 or 9. That's what we need to complete this column here. We can see the 9 will not allow this square to become a 9. So 9 must be here, and the 8 must be here. I've seen something now, I'm not sure if this is going to mean anything or not, but I see the 5 and the 1 block this square, and the 5 and the 1 block this square. Right? Blocked here and blocked here. So that means 5 and 1 must be in these squares here. That in itself is not going to do a great deal, but it means that we can work out what is in these two squares, knowing that this is a 1 or a 5, because 1 and 5 is blocked from these two squares. So we've got 1, 2, we don't have 3 yet, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. So 3 and 9 must be the missing numbers. Did it in fact give us anything? The answer is no, it did not give us anything, but that's okay, because that's the game of Sudoku. We must investigate and find whether or not these things work out in our favor or not. Don't be afraid to investigate and work your way through ideas. I think that's what I'd like to say. This row, on the other hand, definitely has a digit we can place. I would suggest you look at the 3's, have a look at intersecting 3's, and have you spotted what I've seen? That this 3 blocks this square from being a 3, this 3 blocks this square from being a 3, and this square blocks that from being a 3, so we know in fact that the 3 must be there. For newcomers to the channel, welcome. Also, you might like to know that I don't play these games ahead of time, and I have no idea of the actual solution until we get there, and hopefully we will get there. And also that means I have no idea if it's going to be a long game or a short game. I mean, in terms of how much time it's going to take me to finish. Now I think that the missing numbers down here are 2, 6, 7 and 8. We have a 1, we don't have a 2. We've got 3, 4, 5, so 2 and 6 are missing. No 7, no 8, we've got 9. So 2, 6, 7 and 8 are missing from this column. Okay, but if we look at this row here, we can see 2, 7 and 8 all in this row, sorry, here I said column, I believe. 2, 7 and 8 are all in this row here, and so this square is going to have to be a 6, because it can't be the 2, it can't be the 7, and it can't be the 8, and we needed 2, 6, 7, 8 for this column, so we know that that has to be a 6 there. Okay, what else do we need? It's time to start looking seriously. Now I haven't really been looking very seriously up to this point, just glancing around, I must admit, not really paying too much attention to what's going on. But probably now it's time to start looking more seriously for digits. Okay, so we have 8 blocking down this column here, meaning that 8 is either in this square or this square. Do you agree? Got to be, because blocking down here. So 8 is here or here. It doesn't matter where it appears, whether it's here or here, it definitely blocks this square from being an 8. Then we have the 8 blocking across here, and so we know that 8 has to fit into that square there. Now we can take that 8 and say 8 blocks up this column, 8 blocks this row and this row. So now we can place an 8 there. I said that this has to be an 8, right? Do you agree? Okay, 8 is one of these two squares. Now, actually, the 2 blocks this square here, this 2 blocks this square here. We don't yet have a 2 in this row, so we know 2 has got to be here or here as well. This has got to be an 8 or a 2 in these two squares. Must be, because the 2 is blocking here, and therefore we need it in one of these squares to complete this row. So now we know that 2 and 8 exist here. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, no 6, 7, 8, 9. So this has got to be a 6 now. It means that the missing numbers down here are 3 and 6, but that's not going to give us anything quite yet. 8 and 2 are here, 3 and 6 are here. But that's all for the moment. No, actually it's going to give us something else. It now means that 2 is in one of these two squares. Okay, so 2 blocks across here like this, and 2 blocks down here like that, and so 2 has to be in that square there. Now our 3 and 6 are going to appear here to match the 3 and 6 that are there. Missing numbers over here are 4 and 2 and 4 over here, by the way, if you need to remember that for some reason or another, like it might help you finish the game, please remember it. At the moment I don't think it's that important though. Actually, I mentioned previously, I think I mentioned this, well, I certainly noticed it, I don't know if I mentioned it, 2 blocks across here, so 2 is in one of these two squares. So this can't be a 2. In fact, we now know that 2 is there and the 8 is there. Now we have 8 blocking up here, 8 blocking down here, and so 8 will be in this square. And to finish this column, we need a 7. We don't yet have a 7, so we'll put it in. As I mentioned before, the 2 is in one of these two squares, right, because it blocks across here. So 2 is here or here. So 2 blocks up there, like that. 2 blocks across here, like that. So 2 must be in that square there. The 5 blocks up here now, so 5 will be in that square there. That's going to put 5 into these two squares over here. Missing numbers here are 4 and 9, I think. Okay, so then 4 will block down here, meaning it's just this empty square to place a 4. The 8 blocks across this row, 8 blocks across this row, so the top 2 rows in this block are out. Nice empty block here. 8 blocks down here, 8 blocks up there, so 8 fits here. Now, we don't yet have a 4 in this column. You can see it's lacking a 4, but we have an intersecting 4 here and another intersecting 4 here, leaving just a solitary space where the 4 can go. Now we know this was 9 and 4, right? So 4's not there. 9 will have to go there now. Not much more to do now. I feel like it's most of the puzzle is done. Hard work seems to have been done. We can't always say that in Sudoku though, because occasionally they stick a logic puzzle in at the end, but not usually for newspapers, to be honest with you. 9 blocks up here like that. So 9 is in that square there. The missing numbers here are 5 and 6. We have a blocking 5, so the 5 goes there and the 6 goes there. There's 6 blocks all the way along there, putting a 6 there. 4 stops this square from being a 4, so 4 goes here, and the missing number is 9 for that block. Now 9 blocks down here, so that puts a 9 in that square there. 1 digit is missing here. I believe it's a 3. We don't have a 3 in this column yet. Look down, you won't find it. And back here now, the 6 was the... Do you remember the 3 and the 6 that we said was missing down here previously? 6 is there, so that's a 3 and that's a 6. And we had the little pattern to look for. This has turned out to be a pretty easy game. I'm sure there's nothing else to do about it. This column is lacking a 9. We have an intersecting 9 now. So the 9 goes here, and just the digit left to finish that column is a 7. Now we have 7 blocking here, 7 blocking here, so 7 fits into that square like so. Okay, there are 3 digits missing from this row. They are 2, 3, and 6. We have everything else. 1, no 2, no 3, 4, 5, no 6, 7, 8, 9. Now we have 2 and 6 both seeing this square. So if it's not 2 and it's not 6, it's got to be 3, because that's the only other alternative. Now the 6 blocks here, so we know the 6 goes here and the 2 goes there. This 2 stops this square from being a 2, so 2 fits here. 4 is the last number we need here now. 4 blocks up here and across there. 4 is here. The digit missing from this column is a 5. Let's put it in. 5 blocks this square from being a 5, so 5 goes. So you see how we swing backwards and forwards, you know, back to the ones that you needed earlier. This is how the game really is played, you know. It's not that difficult really. 2 blocks this square, 2 goes here. 6 is the last number that we need for this column or this block, whichever way you look at it. And then we're just 2 numbers missing here. Now 1 block, this one blocks this square, so 1 comes here. 1, 2, 3 we need. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's our so-called hard game, really at the easy level, I'm afraid. No challenge whatsoever, I would suggest, there for experienced players. If you're a beginner, you can do it yourself, I'm sure. No problem. Go for it. Okay, that's it, and I hope to see you again later today for yet more Sudoku fun. Bye-bye.